All right, hello, good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the O&G StrikeZone. Brian Fulford, and look who's in the building. None other than Marcus Green. Marcus, what up?
Oh, that much. Just glad to be back in the building, jumping in with the fellas early.
I know, man. You guys
celebrating with you with your boys up 3-1. Take it just.
I'm not going to say, Marcus, I don't like to say I told you so. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm not on the Petty team. I'm not Captain Petty. But I told you so. I'm not bragging yet because it's not done. Now,
make sure they finish the job.
Got to finish the job.
I had too many of my teams that didn't finish the job.
Exactly. I'm not even going to say it, but you know what it's like to be close and have that victory snatched from you. Hell, we just went through it this weekend. So, when your pro sports teams, when they're right there, when you can taste, when you can get like the champagne bottle and it's cold and you got the glasses set up. Yeah. It's crucial. Man. It's a hard life. It's a hard thing. I was just sitting here trying to get the show, make sure I got it set up, going out, on X and Instagram Live. Let me say hello to everybody watching us on X, on Twitter, Black College Sports Network. You hopefully just got the retweet on the O&G StrikeZone page. You might be one of the folks watching us on Instagram Live. We say hello to you. And, of course, our regular family that always joins us on YouTube and on Facebook. We definitely say hello to all of you. Especially you might be watching us on the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page, My JBN Online, or on the O&G StrikeZone YouTube page, which I've been, I don't know if you've been paying attention, Marcus. I've been trying to update and put some of our segments that we've been doing recently. I've been trying to put all that, trying to make that more available so people can go back and hear some of the great interviews with some of our great coaches and student athletes and things like that.
And pick up tidbits when they drop breaking news on the O&G StrikeZone.
Exactly. We always seem to get a little bit of breaking news. That's what we love to do. See that, Marcus? Right. That's why, that's what I'm trying to see, man. We got to figure out a way. We got to get our website up and going, so that way we can drop those articles in there every now and then. I don't know. Maybe that might be my summer project. Teaching last day for teachers was today. So I'm kind of.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
I'm semi-free for the summer. We still got basketball stuff we do in June, but I'm semi-free for at least, 8 weeks. So maybe that'll be my summer project. See if I can get our website up and going. I'd love some help. I mean, if anybody out there is a web designer and you'd like to donate some time to help the O&G StrikeZone out, hit us up, man. Hit me up.
I used to dabble in that a little bit, but I kind of I did retire from it. But
exactly, right. Don't say semi. Either all in or all out, Marcus, because what you say, I've learned, once you say semi, all of a sudden people are like, oh, so you still kind of do it? And then you're kind of like, yeah, I don't really want to, but okay. So no, either you say you retired or you're still doing it. Don't say semi, because you end up getting roped into doing stuff.
Yeah, I know. Oof. Yeah.
Hello to the family also watching us on Facebook, watching us on the Black College Sports Network Facebook page or the O&G StrikeZone Facebook page as well. You can always donate to the show. You see the Cash App down at the bottom. We got, we're trying to do some things this summer. So any contributions that you drop in the bucket, the Cash App, it's greatly appreciated. It is going to go to some of that stuff, guaranteed. Or you could always leave a super chat on MyJBN Online. You can also join the channel. I mean, that's a great way to support. It's a monthly thing. We appreciate it. You can join right there. JBN Online, join. We're going to get to our family that already they are JBN subscribers and supporters. We want to make sure to give them a shout out as we go. So a plethora of ways, excuse me, that came out odd. A plethora of ways that you can support the show. Coming up in hour 2, friend of the program, AD Drew, also my co-host on Sunday's Sports Wrap. He's going to join us. You might be wondering, where is Kelvin? Well, Kelvin is he's on family assignment this weekend. I bet he's walking his butt off right now in the magical land down there with Disney and Mickey. And I'm telling you, I don't know the last time you've been, Marcus, but it's a hike. It's a lot of walking. He gonna get his steps in this weekend.
Oh yeah, it's been about 10 years.
Yeah,
when the kids were little.
Yeah, so who knows? You might, if you're in the chat, if when he gets a chance to sit down, you might see Kelvin in the chat room. He might jump in the chat room. But it's just me, Marcus, Drew, and we got a special guest coming up in the bottom of hour 1 at 8:30. We got a young lady, 2025 FAMU softball commit, and she and her team are on a historic run in the state of Texas. And we're going to talk to Eryn Polite, I think is how you say her last name. I'm going to get clarification, but I heard it pronounced Polite. So I think that is how you say it. I hope so. If not, it's spelled like polite, but I think it's Polite. So we'll find out. But Eryn is going to join us, and man, what a season her high school is having. Clear Springs High School in League City, Texas, which, if you're not familiar, is just outside of Houston. It's she'll tell us about mileage, but it's about halfway between Houston and the Gulf. I don't know if it's the Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America, but I'm just gonna say it's the Gulf.
Please, Gulf of Mexico.
I don't know what they call it. We're just gonna say the Gulf. It's so.
Well, we still call it Twitter, so we're gonna call it Gulf of Mexico.
You know what? You're right. So
this is birth name.
There you go, birth name. So it's still the Gulf of Mexico on this show, just like his Twitter. But yeah, she's so Clear Springs High School is in the midst of a historic run. So we're gonna talk. We're excited to have Eryn. We've been following her and her team over the last couple of weeks. So we're gonna talk to her and find out what drew her to FAMU, because, talking to my FAMU softball sources, Marcus, shout out to Eryn, we don't do a lot of recruiting let me rephrase that. We don't get a lot of commits from the Texas region. I think she might be just according to the numbers that we came up, she's just the third young lady from either the Houston area or Texas. I don't know. Eryn may have to redefine or tell me that, but we're excited to have her on nonetheless. So she's coming up at the bottom of hour 1. So we will look forward to talking to her. But before we get into talking about that heartbreaking SWAC Championship game on Sunday, Marcus, man, heartbreaking.
Yeah, bro. I was like,
to say the least. We got to give some shout outs, because I think we didn't get to the shout outs. I'm gonna try something too. We in full disclosure here, we use StreamYard. StreamYard has a thing now, Marcus, where they let me show comments on stage. So I don't. It says it'll appear on screen. So I don't know if somewhere over on the right, as you guys are dropping comments, they will appear. Oh, there you go. You can start to see them start to show up down there on the bottom. So. Now, the danger with that, there's always danger with that, Marcus, because people, who knows what people are going to say and do, and we hope it's good, clean, and nothing ridiculous. But
family friendly. Family friendly.
See, first one in there, Sam.
This is where we need Dr. Lori to come in.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we need Doc. You see Sam Gilbert. You see down in the bottom right corner, is where that little feature is. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see how that works out on this episode, Marcus. No guarantees, right? No guarantees. All right. No, I don't like that view. Let me go back to this. Okay. Hey, let me give a few hellos. You can see them starting to populate in right there. See? Kind of cool. Let me come in and say, hey, Jimmy Mack, first one in the building. Good to see you, Jimmy. I love it. Jimmy drops in the fight song and the alma mater. I love it. Bull. Yep. We did get Marcus. You're gonna be able to update us on a little basketball recruiting later in the show.
Most certainly.
All right, good deal. Coach Ward making some news. Meredith, good to see you, Meredith. Thanks for being a JBN subscriber. Good to see you. Eryn Young checking in from the Carolinas. What up, fam? Good to see you. My dream may come true. It's been 25 years in the making, Emmett. 25 years. It's been 25 years since my Pacers last appeared in the NBA Finals. One game away. What's up, Tamara T? Good to see you. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber as well. Marcus. Good to see you, Marcus. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Emmett Jones. Oh, come on, Emmett. That's not fair. We were delayed by technology. How about that? Just a little bit delayed. Come on, man. What up, Marvin Allen? Good to see you. Good to see you, Marvin. Meredith. Hey, Meredith. James Austin checking in. When are we going to have Marva on? I don't know. Great question, James. Once she maybe officially becomes president. And Marvin, that's right. Go Pacers, baby. That's right. Melissa Wilson. Good evening, Melissa. I had to get that in there, representing. Tony checking in. That one's for you FAMU High folks. Shout out to y'all. Mary 305. Good to see you, Mary. Checking in. Let me see. Anybody else? I'm not sure there's other people in there. Little baby checking in. Good to see you, little baby. Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm not going to say those two words, Marcus.
What words? Oh.
For our good friend and our JBN. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber.
No, I think they posted it later.
He did. I'm not going. I'm gonna post it. I ain't gonna. No, I'm not gonna post it.
I was gonna boo that, but
I'm just gonna say congratulations. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say congratulations.
Very entertaining game.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all finally did it. So that's it. No more. Yeah, no more of that. Checking in from Palm Beach, Alice. Good to see you, Alice. Thank you for checking
Alice.
in. Good to see you. Let's see. Mary 305 checking on.
I think Kelvin would say, hey, auntie.
There you go. Gail checking in. Just landed in cold Cleveland. Good God, it's still cold? Woo. Is that? Man, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's like 50 and rain. It's been raining all day up here.
See, I
got my FAMU hoodie on, so you know it's a little.
I'm about to hold on. I'm about to put some people in timeout in a second. See, coming in here talking about being messy. Don't be messy. What up, Keith? Fangs up. Get the lights up. Definitely. There you go. And all right. So Sam Gilbert checking in. Good to see you, Sam. Thanks for checking in. Sweet. Good to see you, Sweet. Thank you for coming in. Adrian Crook. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, see? Emmett's talking about this new little feature that now, but look, Emmett, you know and I know there's a reason why the SWAC will not run this little chat feature so that it can see you clowns. And I'm one of them because I know when I see an open chat for a video, I get stupid too. So it's just human nature for some of us to actually be ridiculous. And look, if you got sponsors and things like that, the last thing you want is to run these little chats and things like that because you got to have this stuff monitored, man. You need somebody, you need a producer, like you need a Dr. Lori. We need a Dr. Lori who's going to see this stuff and catch it before it goes out on the air because God knows what some of y'all might type in there. And that's why they don't do it for the games. They don't want, they just don't want it. It's fun. It's all fun and games until you lose a sponsor. I can't say it any better than that, right?
This is true.
It's all fun and games until you lose a sponsor. Edwin Moore checking in. Chuck Hunt checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. Good to see you. Chuck. Hello. Good to see you. Hello, brother. Yep. Good to see you, Timona. Yep. You go ahead and take that. You can take them words on back with you. But good to have you in the show. Always still a friend of the program. Or a friend of mine. I don't know. I consider you a friend, even though you kind of be blowing me off sometimes when I see you in person, but that's okay. I'm used to that. I'm used to that kind of treatment from women. That's all right. I don't know why. All right. I'm telling too much. I'm telling on myself too much. All right. I agree. Yes, you could sponsor. Yeah. All right. Anyway. All right. Well, let's get into talking about it, Marcus. SWAC Championship game Sunday. Now, the lead up to the SWAC Championship game was interesting to say the least. We took care of business in the first two games, right? Winning quite convincingly. In the lead up to the championship game. Took care of business in day one, defeating. I got to scroll down and get it all here. Southern by a score of 9-1. Then we took care of Grambling 14-4. And so we go to the bracket B final game. Now, here's the thing. That game against Grambling, that was the night, Thursday night, that you had a game that went 3 hours and 45 minutes. You had, I think that was, who was that? Was that Southern and Grambling? Wasn't that like a 17-11 game? Then you also had the game after that, which was Alabama State and Bethune-Cookman. That game went 3 hours and 30 minutes. The FAMU Grambling game, which was which night was that? Was that the third? Which night was it where the game went long? Was that game 2 or 3 against Grambling? I
don't remember. I think it was game 2. The second game.
The second game, the Thursday night game. Okay, so, but anyway.
Actually, both nights were like extended. But it was even worse. It's even worse on Thursday night.
Somebody helped me recall. Which night was it where the game didn't end? I think it was the Thursday night game where the game
it didn't until like 1 o'clock or something.
The game didn't end until 1 o'clock Eastern because it didn't start until 10 o'clock Eastern because of the 3 other games which went long. And I basically had said something. What do you think about?
More, please. We're not making excuses. We don't make excuses.
No, I mean, okay. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna say anything. Here's the thing. When that game went long because the if game started on Thursday, right? You had 2 if games, meaning you had loser bracket games. And those loser bracket games took long. And I said to somebody afterwards that instead of playing 9 innings for those loser bracket games or what I'm going to call elimination games, they should go 7 innings. I don't know. What do you, first off, I mean, what do you think? Wild idea, good idea, bad idea?
No,
or would you, hindsight's 2020.
I would keep it regulation. Just because, I mean, as you can see, from the championship game, things can turn around those last couple of innings. Because you're starting to get 2 or 3 times through the rotation, through seeing the batters, or if you change pitchers, something could go on. And for all intents and purposes, but we had the feast or famine. Either we had blowouts or we had some games that came down to the last at bat or the last couple innings, which is very entertaining. So no, I wouldn't advocate truncating a regulation 9-inning game because it's an if game.
All right. So that game, by the time it ended, right, Grambling had won their first round game. They played us in the semifinal, or they played us in the in the second round game, the winner would kind of advance and would be one game. Basically, the winner of Thursday's game would be one win away from the championship. Okay, I'm going to keep it simple that way. But the thing is, Southern, by losing at the time that they did, had to turn around and play at noon. So when their game ended at 11, they had to turn around and play at noon Eastern, I think it was, or maybe it was noon Central. Okay. But still, you less than 12 hours of game time between the end of one and the start of the next. And then if they won, which they did, they would end up having to play us again. And that would be 3 games in less than 24 hours, because I believe the start time was scheduled for 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, something like that. So it would have been 3 games in less than 24 hours. Okay. We ended up losing 13-0.
We got worked.
I can't even explain, because Grambling put up 5 runs in the third, 5 runs in the fourth. Jay Campbell probably, has been a reliable pitcher all season. He's just a freshman, first team all SWAC at third base, and also filling in as a pitcher, right? And, he just had a bad day. I mean, it happens. And so by the time that game finished, Grambling put 3 more runs in the 7th, and we were out of there. Fortunately, the run rule applied, and we didn't have to go 2 more innings. We just got out of there, 13-0. I mean, I cut the TV off after the 4th inning. I was like, I'm going to bed. There's no need to stay up. We got another day, okay? So we get another day. We come back on Friday, okay? Now we have a loss. Grambling has a loss. The winner advances to the championship game. Lo and behold, what was happening on the other side of the bracket was Bethune-Cookman, who basically trailed in every game leading. Look, Bethune-Cookman trailed in every game of the tournament and ended up winning every game in the tournament. Unbelievable run by Coach Hernandez and those guys, right? But they nearly fumbled it away, had to come up with a big win late. They advanced to the championship game on Friday night. So that put a Saturday game on our table, right? Winner take all, 1 game. And Saturday, I think it was like a 2:00 afternoon game. After giving up a run in the top of the 2nd inning, we put 3 on Grambling in the bottom of the 3rd. Cody Williams was on the mound for us. Did a great job. Let me see. How many innings did Cody go? Cody went 8 innings. Talk about what the crazy part is, Marcus, had we not had to play that game, Cody probably would have been the starter in the championship game had we not had to play that game. I mean, Cody went 8 innings, only gave up 1 earned run, only gave up 5 hits to Grambling, right? We put up a 5 spot on Grambling in the bottom of the 8th inning to secure the victory, 9-1, advance to the championship game to face Bethune-Cookman for the 2nd time in 3 seasons. So we get what we wanted, Marcus. We get a rematch. I mean, really, we get the game that we. Yeah, exactly. We got swept by them during the regular season. We lost to them by a half a game in the regular season. Thanks to no good Texas Southern, couldn't finish the job. But anyway, so we end up having to play a championship game against Bethune-Cookman. And man, let me see. We sent out. Let me see. Coach Shoup sent out Trevor Hanselman onto the mound. Trevor, didn't have the greatest of numbers during the season, but he was one of those midday guys that really, I think Coach was, as he said it, if you saw the interview that AD drew, and we'll talk to AD later up in hour 2. I mean, he was hoping to be able to get innings out of Trevor. Unfortunately, we got into the 2nd inning. Trevor got into trouble. Gave up 3 runs. Bethune jumped out on us 3-0. On the flip side, Bethune-Cookman got a great pitching performance by Edwin Sanchez. In the first 5 innings, man, he struck out 9 batters. Had a great outing, up until the point that we really pushed him in those last two innings. I think the fourth inning and the fifth inning is when we finally started to get some runners on base. We were leaving people on, and then we got to the sixth inning. And sixth inning, we were able, in the top of the sixth inning, we put up 3 runs. Justin Cruz with a single RBI. Riles with a walk RBI. Perez with a sacrifice. So we tied the game up going into the bottom of the sixth inning. I mean, and now it's looking like a whole new ball game. We get to the bullpen. We got Sanchez out of the game. They go to the bullpen, which I think is what we wanted. And then we go into the top of the seventh inning. And then we put up, seventh inning, Willie Brown, a 2-run home run to give us a 5-3 lead. Then a couple batters later, Justin Cruz with another 2-run homer. So we get two 2-run homers in the seventh inning. We're up 7-3. We got a little comfortable. What was your thoughts
I'm
at
not
that
even
point?
gonna lie. I was thinking this is looking good. It's not over, but this is looking pretty good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, bottom of the seventh inning with a new pitcher on the mound, Carson Kelly, who Carson came in that second inning after Trevor had given up the 3 runs. Carson had come in, and Bethune ended up doing what they've been doing all season. They got a 2-run RBI to cut the deficit to 7-5. Got another double to bring in another run, and at the end of 7, the score is now 7-6. So our 4-run lead gone. Okay, but we go to the top of the eighth inning. Jay Campbell gets a double in the left field, scores 2 runs, and we're back up now by a score of 9-6, heading to the middle of the eighth inning. Right? Exactly. True freshman, Jay Campbell, big time play. Okay. Kelly comes back into the bottom of the eighth inning. And with a runner aboard, Bethune's Jorge Rodriguez hits a 2-run homer to cut the deficit to 9-8. Okay, I'm sweating at this point, Marcus. I'm
like,
I mean, because you're watching. We had a 4-run lead, cut to 1. Okay, then we had a 3-run lead, cut to 1 again, and so I'm just thinking, man, we're rolling dangerously here with the dice. For those who know what that means, okay, and we are unable to score any runs in the top of the 9th inning, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Coach Shoup sends Carson Kelly back out on the hill, and I know that was we can say it like it is. It's controversial for some people, but if you heard the interview with Coach Shoup, he believed in Carson, and he sent Carson back out there. And look, we were 1 out away from with a runner aboard, we get a fielder's choice.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. With the third batter up, we get a runner. No, I'm sorry, second batter up. We get an out on a fielder's choice. And then the play, which, man, I tell you, we in this ball game we committed 4 errors. The most crucial error occurred with a runner on first, where we could have got the second out.
And actually, to be honest, I mean, I have to go back and look. I mean, I've looked at the home run too many times, but that play might have been a routine double. I mean, I don't know the speed of the batter, but it could have been a routine double play.
Look, I'm not out there fielding the position. Never have been on shortstop.
I'm not criticizing.
Look, right, I get you. The eyes, look, I mean, they ruled an error because they felt like that is a routine play that you normally make. Unfortunately, we didn't make the play, left the runner on, right? So still with one out, we managed to get the next batter to fly out. Now there's 2 outs. But instead of that fly out, Marcus, could essentially have been the game had we got the out in the previous batter. But instead, now we got 2 outs, 2 runners on, and, you know, the rest is history. I mean, I don't know what.
Actually, like I said, I looked at that
fastball.
replay.
I don't know what it was, but
that pitch, I think, I mean, I have to have somebody with sharper eyes, but that pitch looked like it was off the plate. And he went. I mean, it wasn't far off the plate.
The homer by Martinez. You talking about the homer by Martinez?
Yeah, it looked like it was off the plate, and he went out and got it. So I give him credit. I mean, it wasn't down like the home runs that FAMU hit. Those were mistake pitches that were down the middle high, or straight down the pipe. And you can look at those 2 pitches, but that one that he knocked out looked like it was off the plate, maybe an inch or so, and he just put the barrel out there, got his arms extended, and hit it to dead center. And he was the co-hitter of the year, wasn't he?
Yeah, co-hitter of the year. Yeah. I mean, you're thinking maybe you walk him. I don't know, but there's a lot of strategy that, look, we're not the coaches. I mean, I believe in Coach Shoop. I know, you know, people will question all kinds of stuff, but I mean, I believe in Coach Shoop. And that's just one of them tough positions, man. That's a tough spot to be in. He trusted his pitcher. He trusted his guys. And, you know, not to say that we just didn't come through. And I mean, give credit to the other guys. Sometimes I know it pains us to give them our cousins from Daytona Beach any kind of credit, but man, that's how. I mean, look, you dream of those situations, right? I wish we were on the other side of it. 3-2 pitch.
It was a 3-2 pitch, and that pitch was not like a down the middle. It was like
no, it wasn't.
That game was consistently calling low pitches. It might have been a little higher than what he called for strikes, but it was off the plate, and you really had to be co-hitter of the year in order to get that pitch and knock it out and put it over the 400-foot mark, and he did it.
Yeah, I know EA. I know. It's what it is. It was a 2-0 count. Drew said it was a 2-0. I thought it was
3-2. Okay.
I know it was 2 outs though. It was 2 outs, a 2-0. And so, you know, Martinez and, you know, we end up losing 11-9. We'll talk more about the baseball season, that game. 80 Drew's going to join us. He was there. He got the post-game comments from Coach Shoop. But we'll talk more about that game a little bit later. So, all right. We're a little over on the break, and so I'm going to apologize to our guests. I know she's in the waiting room, and we're going to get ready to go to our first break. And when we come back, we're going to talk to FAMU softball commit, whose team is in the midst of a historical run in the Texas High School State Softball Championships or State Championship Tournament. And we'll talk to this young lady coming up. We'll introduce the family to Miss Eryn Polite coming up on the other side. Hang tight with us. Hit the thumbs up and the like button if you would for me while we're in the break. And you're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's like a loop machine. Going around town, people trying to get it down. It's like a loop machine.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com And follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonia from She Say Sports. Make sure to check us out every Friday morning at 9 a.m. on Black College Sports Network, YouTube, and Linktree. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page.
Chargers have put a 4 spot on him. 1-0. Driving to left. That is done! Polite walks off Katie and clears things to the regional final.
Hey, what up, family? Welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan and Marcus, and it's a pleasure to be joined by the young lady who hit that walk-off homer against the #1 team in the state of Texas just a couple of weekends ago, Miss Eryn Polite. Eryn, welcome to the O&G StrikeZone. And did I say your last name correctly?
Yes, you did. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, Eryn.
Thank you.
And wow, what a moment. In the moment of that shot, again, your team is going up against the #1 team in the state of Texas. You saw it on the screen, #1 Katie. In the moment, walk us through that moment, if you would.
Well, before I got up to bat, it was already a lot of pressure because we had a freshman up, which was already a pretty good hitter on our team. And when she got the second out, and I knew it was already going to be a back-to-back play, or at least I need to put the ball in play. So honestly, I didn't plan on hitting that home run, but as soon as I hit it and it just kind of went over, I was just really excited and glad that I was able to come in clutch for my team.
Was that your first ever walk-off in that moment, or had you experienced a walk-off like that before?
No, not as big as that one, especially since like Katie is known for their pitchers, their defense hitters and everything. So to hit a walk-off against Katie, especially to advance to the 4th round, I think was a pretty big moment. That was like my first walk-off ever too. And
it's a heck of I love the post. I love the post celebration there. Let them know that's how you do it. So look, well, first off, again, we want to welcome you to the family. Eryn, of course, committed to play for Coach Beal and come to FAMU.
Signed.
Yeah, signed. Is that right? Signed officially, not just committed.
Mm-hmm.
Signed.
I had to correct Max Preps when they because they put that tweet out, and I was like, she signed with FAMU.
No, she's official. She's official. So I mean, we got a lot of different things and a lot of directions we can go. I'm gonna let Marcus get in there first, and then because I want to set up a couple of things. So go ahead, Marcus. I'll let you get first questions into Eryn.
All right. Well, once again, Ms. Polite, thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for it.
I guess my first question, could you, for those who may not be aware, and actually Bryan alluded to it earlier, around Texas not being a typical hotbed for FAMU softball. Can you tell us a little bit of background on how you got connected with FAMU, how things transpired?
Well, I would say last summer, I got joined on this international Team Africa. And it just so happened that Coach Bill at the time was coaching, the head coach for Team Africa. And I had met her through there, and then I want to say later on in like September is when I met Coach Jess at this MSP prospect. And then that's when she told me that she was going to coach at FAMU. And I believe a month later, Coach Bill had reached out to me and said that she wanted to offer me a position on a team. So.
All right. And what position do you play, just for our audience at home?
Corners, but mainly third base.
Okay. All right. Bryan?
Eryn, tell us a little bit of background. Do you have other family members that are FAMU alums or HBCU? What was your familiarity with FAMU prior to getting interest from Coach Beal, committing and signing?
Well, I don't have any family that went to FAMU, but I do have some that went to HBCUs. Like my grandma, she went to Southern. Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. It's grandma, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
My cousin went to PV. I also believe my mom, when she was younger, she went to TSU. But when I was younger, I think maybe in 8th grade, I seen this video, like a hype video of the FAMU softball girls dancing on the field. So from then, I wanted to go to FAMU when I was younger, because I like the colors for one, the uniforms, and I like the energy that I seen from that video. So when Coach Bill offered me, I was definitely excited to go. So,
have you had a chance to visit the campus?
Yes, I went in, I want to say October. It was the week right before homecoming.
Oh, the week before homecoming. Oh,
yes.
Okay. You might not have made it back to Texas if you had gone to homecoming.
Yeah, no.
That's why Coach Bill had me do it the week before.
That was a smart move. That was smart on Coach Bill's part. Exactly. You don't need to see that homecoming experience until you get on campus. We want to make sure you see it the right way, see the campus the right way. So in terms of the softball season, as you watch the FAMU softball season, because you've paid attention and you've seen the run through the SWAC, what's been your impressions of what you've seen from the team? Because obviously, even in the SWAC tournament, plenty of games were online on SWAC Digital. So what was it like watching the games online, and what were some of your takeaways from the way we play, from the way coach coaches?
Well, previously, from what I've experienced playing with Coach Bill when I had to do the international, I seen that she already was like talking to the girls like during some of the games. I believe it was I think against Gremlin when they hit that walk off. Was it against Gremlin? Or it was against some in that tournament, and they hit the walk off.
Oh yeah. I know. Yeah. You're talking I know what you're talking. You know what you're talking about, Marcus. The game winner by Kaylee.
She hit the ball up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching that, and I was super excited too, because also it was Coach Bill's first year here, and then she's, they're going to the championship game, so I was super pumped and excited, especially for Coach Bill. So, right. But I think like with some of the girls, I think they made a lot of adjustments throughout their games and everything, and I think that's also what made them go so far, was the adjustments that they did. So,
okay, go ahead, Marcus.
Yes, for those who may not be aware, and once again we're all over the country. Can you give us a breakdown of your class and division in softball, and maybe a little scouting report on the championship game?
Well, I think when I played with some girls from Florida, they even pronounce like high school states out there. But our like state championship is 6A. It's divided up in regions. I want to say we're region 4, I think. And we're playing a team from Waco. I don't know too much on them, to be honest, but I think it'll be a pretty good game for the most part, only because, well, their open enrollment in my school it's really just in the area. So I think that we should be fine, and we should do good in a championship game. And we're also playing at University of Texas Saturday. So
Okay, so any Austin area FAMU alums or HBCU alums come and support Eryn as her team vies for a championship.
Yeah,
and Class 6A is Class 6A the highest classification in softball, or 7A or 8A?
I believe it's 6A.
Okay.
Yeah, the game again for folks who are interested is set for Saturday, May 31st, 4 o'clock. I'm assuming that's 4 o'clock local time at Red and Charlene McCombs Field in Austin. Clear Springs High School versus Midway. Midway, and doing my research, they were in the state tournament. They were in the finals last year. Ended up being runner-up last year. And, you know, as we mentioned, this is the UIL Class 6A Division I state final. And this is, I've been teasing it that this is a bit of a historic year for Clear Springs. I mean, you and your teammates are in unprecedented territory. What's it been like around campus, around the community? You guys are like history makers right now with one more to go to get the ultimate prize.
Honestly, it feels good to get the recognition that our team is getting. Like, I know me and one of the other seniors, the catcher, we've been getting interviewed, I want to say this whole time this week. Last week, we got interviewed for Player of the Week. Well, we got interviewed for Player of the Week, and we also got interviewed for Team of the Week for Whataburger. So I think just some of the support that they're showing is really showing. Because even when we go like I believe we was in Seguin, Texas last week for the last round, and a lot of our like APs, they were wearing our jerseys, just showing a whole bunch of support and love. And it's just really good to see, especially since we're the first in our district and sport to go to state.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Okay. Eryn, when you venture to Tallahassee and start playing softball, do you anticipate your parents or some family members coming out and making some trips, or are they going to wait till you get out there and play PV and Texas Southern and some of the other teams?
No, I have a really good support system. Like, my dad, he's already, like, as soon as he found out that Coach Bill wanted to have me on the team, he was already trying to look for like those little RSV vans or those big travel vans, because he was already calling his friends and his cousins to travel down there. Even my cousin that went to PV, she loves the HBCU life. So she's the one who's mainly been telling me like the HBCU life is, you know, the way to go. So she's super excited, and she's just, they're all pumped and they're excited to see me come. So
no, we're excited too. So thank you once again.
Coach Bill's excited too. Coach Bill checking us out in the chat room. Shout out to Coach Bill. Excited to have you join the family. And I finally got those pictures loaded up. So there you can see Eryn when she made her visit in town with our coaches. I want you to take a second. I want you to talk about your girls, Eryn. Give a second to shout out your girls, because again, you guys are making history. I mean, let's not understate this. I mean, you know, your coach, Coach Jennifer Knight, How long has she been the head coach there in the program? Because you play varsity. This is your at least third year. How long has she been the head coach of the program?
Well, I've been on varsity since freshman year.
Okay,
and then,
excuse me. Okay.
And then when I went in 8th grade, she was still coaching, and the previous years before that. So I think, honestly, for quite some years, I don't know the exact years, but I know it's been a long time.
So you guys have been putting in the work to get to this point. So,
Definitely.
talk a little bit about your teammates, and what it's like to play with these young ladies.
Well, I know on the side of me with the pinstripe jersey, she is a freshman, and she's also best friends with my little sister, and she's also at shortstop. So me and her have to communicate a lot. And I think, like, for us getting like 5-6 balls or just any type of short ball, we just communicate easily because we already have that good connection between me and that shortstop, Mackenzie. And then Ariana, she's on the other side of me with the glove. And that's our catcher. Me and her have a really good connection. Like, me and her will have like little signals or little signs at third, like whether or not if she needs to, throw it if they're taking like a big lead, or, just kind of communicating on the field secretly on trying to, communicate that way. And then on the far end is our two pitchers, Grace and Jenna. I've been playing with Jenna for maybe like 5 years because I played with her when I was a little younger. So they're doing pretty good pitching wise too, and I always communicate with them like on bunt coverages and everything. And then our outfield, Alana, she's on the far end by the catcher, and she's just a junior, and she's just the outfielder, so the center fielder.
All right. And
now, you mentioned there was another senior on the team. Is she pictured here?
No, she's actually our manager. So it's the two. There's 4 seniors in that picture right now, and then there's a freshman and a junior.
Okay. And so for you guys as seniors, I mean, again, you guys have been working for this moment. I mean, I know softball, a lot of work goes in the off season. You do a lot of traveling. What kind of, take us behind the scenes? What are those conversations like during the, first off, let me ask, is school out? Are you still in school? Have you already graduated? You did the ceremony and everything?
Yes, I graduated last Tuesday, I believe.
Okay, well, first off, let's give you some congratulations on that. First off, I don't know how the calendars work, so that's why I wanted to stop and do that. So you guys are free to kind of use your time as you see fit, get extra batting practice and all that extra stuff that the coaches love for you to do without the worry of books. But take us behind the scenes a little bit. What are the conversations like with you and your senior classmates, and the work that you guys have been putting in, and here you are on this stage with this opportunity to bring a state title to your high school?
Well, I mainly just try to tell the team that we just need to have like a lot of confidence, and we need to basically lock in. Like, all the teams that we face, especially facing Atascocita and Katy, they're pretty good known teams out here. So I was telling them we already beat them. Like, it is from this point moving forward, it shouldn't be, nothing that we haven't seen before. All we need to do is just lock in, use all the tools that we've used prior to this moment. And, we already worked super hard in off season, like running up hills, weight room, everything. We still do weight room, just to get that extra pump and everything. So I feel like just using everything we got to get to this point and just locking in and dialing on our next games.
Nice. And you guys are getting a great support from your classmates and peers, the student body. Are they excited for this game? Yeah. It's going to be a pack. It's going to be bananas. It's going to be a packed house in Austin at that field.
They're doing us a send off. We had a send off last last week for semifinals, and now that we're actually going to state, they're definitely doing a send-off before we leave for Austin. So
nice.
Now, how long of a trip is it from your hometown to Austin?
it's around 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
So.
All right. Good stuff. All right. So just to kind of give people who might not be familiar with Eryn, Eryn again, Polite is how you say her last name. Again, Clear Springs High School. Those batting average numbers, I was, thanks to Max Preps, they put your numbers out there. You're right on average. I mean, a career 380, 381 average hitter. But I noticed this has been your explosive year in terms of home runs. 7 home runs is a season best. What is something that you have worked on prior to this senior year in your game, whether it be offense or defense, that you're seeing come to fruition this year?
Well, I have an agility coach, and he's been coaching me for I believe since I was in 2nd, 3rd grade. So fielding wise, footwork, all the athleticism, he has basically taught me how to move with my body, the footwork I need to do for 3rd. So I would say definitely working out with him, doing ladders. And at first I would be a little worried because he would be having me do football drills. But now that I'm seeing that it's actually working out and everything, all the ladders, the sand pit, I feel like it's definitely beneficial, and I'm definitely seeing it now. And then with batting, my dad has been my coach since I T-ball days. So we always go in the backyard, work on form. He always recording, seeing what I need to do next and everything. So I definitely would all my batting is definitely us working out in the backyard, or even going to a local D-bats. That's definitely what we would do.
Nice. And you probably thought that trainer was crazy. Sitting there what in the world is this man got me doing?
Yes.
And you finally see it starting to pay off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff. Well, all right, Eryn. Our good friend, who you will one day meet, I'm sure, Erie Young, softball alum, has got a question for you. She said, "Who are you picking to win the College World Series?"
I'm definitely picking UT. Last year when they went.
Hold on. Let me add. That's Texas, not Tennessee, right?
Oh yes, Texas, University of Texas.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead. You were saying about what do you like about UT?
Oh, well, I have this one girl that we used to play against locally. She was we used to play her in my district, and she's out there playing center fielder, I believe, for them, Caden Henry. So, and I love their uniforms. I love the way they coach, everything about UT. I like, honestly. So I definitely hope they win, especially against OU.
There you go. See, there's the rivalry right there coming through. All right, so I'm gonna keep my eye out for Texas. I was already thinking about Texas Tech, but see, now you got me looking over at Texas now, seeing what they got.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, Eryn, we appreciate your time tonight. I want to give you a chance to give a shout out. Any last words? Talk to the family. If you want to put out any social media plugs, whatever you want to do, the floor is yours, young lady.
Well, am I allowed to type my my Instagram?
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead and set it up there. Type it in there so you can catch some followers.
Yes.
Definitely. We want to be able to put that in there. Let's see if it'll show up. Will it show up? Hold on. Maybe I gotta adjust something in the settings. While I get it squared away, go ahead and give you shout outs while I figure out how to get that set up for you.
Definitely a shout out to Coach Jess and Coach Bill for having me join the FAMU family. Thank you also a shout out to my family and supporting system, and shout out to y'all for having me on here. So
yeah, definitely. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna fix something here for you. Hold on. I'm gonna get this set up in here. We'll do a little. Oh man. All right, so that didn't work out the way I wanted. I was gonna put the IG up there. Let me see. How can I put that here? Okay. Let me see. IG. There we go. Why isn't it working? Say it again. What is it?
ERYNPOLITE_.
All right, there we go. So there you go, folks, right there. There you can follow Eryn on IG. Make sure to hit her up. First off, wish her well, family. Make sure you follow because, of course, you're going to want to follow her once the softball season kicks, once she makes it to Tallahassee. But we're supporting now. We're showing her love. And, we're going to be tuned in. 5:00 Eastern, 4 Central, the Class 6A Division I Texas State Championship game between Clear Springs High School and Midway. And we are rooting for Clear Springs. We're rooting for the magic and the historic season to continue for you and your teammates, Eryn. And that's it, man. Hey, and, wish your family, say hello. We hope to see them one day in Tallahassee. Dad and the rest of the family, grandma and everybody. You could convert them all to FAMU. Give them orange and green colors. Get rid of that Texas Southern, Prairie View, especially that Southern. Get rid of them Southern colors and put on some FAMU orange and green. You can talk mad noise now, see, because you're part of the family, and that's what we do.
No, I don't know. She don't play about Southern, so.
we know how Southern folks are. We know. It's all love, though. It's all love. Okay. Hey, Eryn, again, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, God bless and be well. And next time we talk, you're going to be a state champion. I'm going to speak it into existence for you, Eryn. All right?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That's very cool. Very cool. Appreciate Eryn and her family for allowing her to join us tonight. And again, we want to wish Eryn, her teammates, the coaching staff, Coach Jennifer Knight, and the Chargers. Go Chargers, go! Isn't that what my man said? Go Chargers, go! Something like that. That's my worst Arnold impersonation there.
Yeah, that was.
You'd have to know somebody out there who pays attention. You know where that comes from. So Marcus, you trying to act like you don't know. But anyway, shout out to Clear Springs High School.
Yes.
Shout out to them. All right, let's take a break. Come back. 80 Drew's going to join the show. 80, firsthand. He was there on site for the wrong screen. He was there on site for the SWAC baseball tournament. And Marcus will kind of go through when we come back. Maybe we'll start with some just kind of updates, some recruiting news and info. So why don't we start there, and then we'll get into the baseball talk as well. All right, get your questions in. It's a mailbag time. If you have questions for the O&G StrikeZone, I'm going to go back through the chats. You guys put some questions in there, anything you want to ask us. Me, Marcus, Drew, whoever, mailbag time. Drop them in the comments, and there you go. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the O&G StrikeZone right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Chargers have put a fourth spot on him. 1-0. Driving to left. That is done! Polite walks off Katie in Clear Springs to the regional final.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and Instagram.com/empowermentJAX.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KeversVoice.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
All right, welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. You got me and Marcus, and joining us, my Sunday evening co-host, AD Drew, BCSN Sports Rap, as well. Drew, how you doing tonight?
It's the only place I could wear this FAMU orange still, man. So I had to go in the closet and pull the mothballs off of it.
I know, exactly. Appreciate that. All right, I'm gonna hit. I see a few questions or a few things in the chat that maybe were going on during the interview. Shout out to everybody for commenting in the chat. Sorry I didn't get all of those chats up during the interview, but I was trying to get those graphic pictures you saw. I was having some issues trying to get all that loaded. So I'm doing that and at the same time. But just to kind of go back here, Edwin Moore had asked the high school and the city again that Eryn played for. So I don't know if you caught it at the end, Edwin.
It was League City, Texas is a hometown, Texas. And she plays for Clear Springs High School.
Right.
Class 6A, Division I in UIL, and I don't remember what that stands for, but I know it's for Texas. Unified, what's that unit? I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like it's the public. I think it's where a lot of the public schools.
Yeah.
And the school, I was looking at the history. The school has only really been around since 2007, so it's not even 20 years old. So we're, you talk about the historic run that this is their first. This is the furthest that they have ever advanced in the state tournament. She, of course, as you saw, that solo, or not the solo, but the walk-off homer was against the number one team in Class 6A, Katy High School, which I think Katy is in Houston, if I'm not mistaken, right? And then, of course, they made it to the regionals, some big hits in the regionals and the semifinals. And so now they're taking on a school. Who did I say the school was again? Midway High School, and Midway was in the championship last year. They lost in the championship game last year. So there you go. I told you guys Kelvin would eventually make his way into the chat room. So, shout out to Rogers out there. Kelvin, over or under 10,000 steps today? That's all I'm wondering. Over or under? I'm going to bet over. I'm betting over.
Over.
I'm definitely thinking over, unless he cheated and took some kind of cart or something that's been scooting around Disney property on a cart. I'm definitely thinking he's over 10,000 steps today.
See what your coach put in, Bryan?
I did. I shouted out Coach Beal during the extra interview, so we had Coach Beal in there.
Yeah, her latest comment.
Oh, Coach got the latest. Hold on, let me go. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh, wait a minute, wrong one. Yeah. So not only were they number 1, but number 5 in the nation. Wow, that's huge. That's huge. Appreciate Chuck. University Interscholastic League in Texas. So, yeah, there you go. Appreciate you. Chuck and Edwin, appreciate you guys. Yeah, Katie's a suburb of Houston. And Terrence Davis asking, is FAMU, will they be in Atlanta next season? Well, I don't know. Terrence, maybe you were asking that question because you saw Coach Beal in that same Facebook chat. I don't know, but I will say FAMU played in the what was the name of that classic at the beginning of the year that we played in up in Covington? It was an HBCU softball tournament. It was like 8 SWAC schools, almost everybody from the MEAC. The second week of the season, a pretty big tournament. So I think we have played in that the last 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. So Terrence, there's a strong likelihood that we will probably play in it again. I mean, I'm not. There's your answer. There you go. Boom. Breaking news. See, I told you we be breaking news right here. So there you go, Terrence. You ask and Coach Beal delivers. Yes, we will be at the HBCU Invitational next year in Covington, where we whooped up on a bunch of MEAC teams, including the team that everyone ranked as the number 1 HBCU softball team, Howard. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Drew.
I was going to say also, since we got Coach Beal in there, she's going to be one of the coaches in the Minority Prospects HBCU softball game this Friday night.
Exactly. And I'm not mistaken, we've got a couple of young ladies
there as I'll play-by-play.
We got a couple of young ladies. I know Samantha Smith is in that game. Who's the other one? Who's the other young lady?
I had the roster early because I was going through getting my notes together for the broadcast this weekend. I know we've got 2.
Yeah. Sam and maybe Brianna.
Pitcher.
Samantha Smith is the pitcher. I wouldn't doubt it. It's probably Brianna Duggins. I'm guessing.
I can tell. I don't know why I'm trying to guess. It's not like I don't have them in my email.
Exactly. Pull it up. I think it's Brianna. I know Iria told me before, and I don't know, but we got at least 2 in there, so that's cool. Do we have any on the baseball side of things too?
No. No one from FAMU or Bethune is obviously Bethune's not participating in the game. They had 3 selected, but obviously due to another obligation, they don't have anyone, and no one from FAMU is participating. Also, going down the list, Bryan. Coach Beal will be coaching Team Betty Chapman, which will be the black team this weekend. And Samantha Smith will be on that same team. Mm-hmm. And on the other team, this is Team Billy Harris, led by Dietrich Randall of Tuskegee. Amari Brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Those are the only 2 rattlers that I see on the roster.
Okay. All right. Amari is it's not just so this is a true all-star game. This is not just a seniors.
Senior.
Right. Okay. Because I know Amari, I believe, we hope, will be back next year. I know she has another eligibility. And I know if we recall the interview with Coach Beal, Samantha's possible, depending upon eligibility or grad school, things like that. So I know that's all in the works.
So we got 3 rattlers that'll be there Friday.
Yeah. And that's in Charlotte, right? That is in Charlotte this Friday.
It's actually Kannapolis, which is a deep suburb of Charlotte.
Okay. Kannapolis. All right. Good for that.
About 30 minutes from downtown Charlotte.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me make mention here, Marcus, before we come to you with some recruiting news, and then Drew will get into the baseball convo. I want to make mention of our track and field athletes that are competing in the first round of the outdoor track and field championships happening in Jacksonville, started today. But I don't believe we had any events featuring rattlers today. So today and Friday are men's events. Thursday and Saturday are women's events. So we had, of course, if you watched the show last week, you got the live news right at the end of the show. Coach Ellenwood told us about 12 student athletes had got the invite to compete in the regionals, which was a step up from 5 a year ago. And so here the list of student athletes competing along with their events. Paul Roden in the high jump. Randall Pompey Pompey in the high jump. Alpha Mopofu in the 400-meter dash. Leonard Mastari in the 110 hurdles. Darian Lawrence, who finished second in the SWAC to the fastest man in the SWAC, by the way, okay? And I think came very close to beating him in one of those two races. Darian is running in the 100 and 200-meter dash. And then, of course, friend of the program, Kirk Dawkins, is running in the 800-meter run. So we'll get to see whether Kirk's style, how it works out on the big stage in the NCAA. Over on the women's side, Tatiana Martinez, she will run the 400-meter dash as well as be a part of our 4x100 relay team. Then we have Naya Blocker, the fastest woman in the SWAC and friend of the program. She's running the 100, the 200, and part of the 4x100 relay. Ariana Ladson, friend of the program, who was the SWAC's most outstanding track and field athlete. She's a part of the 4x100 relay team. Orabile Shosha, hope I said her name right. She's also a part of the 4x100 relay team. Caitlin Smith, friend of the program, running the 400-meter hurdles. And Alicia Douglas will be running the 800-meter run. So those are the 12 rattlers, 6 men, 6 women. You guys have probably seen the graphics on Instagram or on Twitter or X, whatever, maybe even Facebook featuring them. And so all of these streams are available. You know, there are links running. If you go to FAMUathletics.com, they've got links and everything. The schedule of events for today, there might even be some results available because today, actually, you had a lot of the sprints that ran late today. The opening rounds, the 110 hurdles, the 100, 400, the 800, the 400 hurdles, the 200-meter run. So all of those, we should have results. So if anybody wants to check and drop any statistics and numbers into the chat, that'd be great. Thursday, you have the first round for the women's events. So you have track events, field events for the men all taking place today. Ditto for tomorrow for the women. Then on Friday, you've got what they call the quarterfinals, the quarterfinals of the various, some of the events, the same events that ran today will run Friday, including the 4x100 meter relays and the 4x400s. I don't think we have anybody in the 4x4s. And then on Saturday is the women. So again, it alternates men, women. That's sort of the pattern. All right. Let's go to Marcus with some recruiting updates and news before we get into talking about that baseball game and the experience and tournament and everything. Marcus, what do you want to share with us tonight?
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to share it with. You might already have it. Let's start with the 2025 commits and signees. If you see that in there, we can go over the latest basketball recruits.
Yeah, let me pull that up here. 2025 recruiting update and graphics. Is that the one I'm looking at?
It should say Olympic signees, unless I didn't share it.
Yeah, I don't think so. The last update, I don't have that one.
Let me see, make sure.
Real quiet tonight in the chat room. Did everybody fall asleep? What are you guys doing out there? Are you guys watching the WNBA game like me, or no? Maybe you're watching the Timberwolves and the who are they playing tonight? OKC. Drew, did you see the new feature that I put up, the live chat during the show? Did you happen to catch that? Huh?
No, I did.
Oh, okay. Well,
see if you have access now.
I'll put it up there, and then we'll see if we get any comments, and then you'll see it. Look in the bottom right corner. Okay, let me see if I got it, Marcus. Give me the file name again.
Let's see. 2025 commits signees Olympic sports.
I don't know why I'm not seeing it, but go ahead, Marcus. I don't know. Keep going. Just go ahead and get started. I'll look somewhere else. I know somewhere else it might be. So just go ahead, get started.
All right.
I'll look
Let me
for
see. Try to see if I can present, share screen. Window.
Okay, the 2025 commits. Okay, I see that. So let's see if I can get that to download. You guys are this is real time, so you got to love this preparation that we like to do in this show.
Can you see? Is my screen sharing? Oh, I want to share that screen. Close that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. Hit the slideshow format. Hit the slideshow button. There you go.
Right. So a lot of this is old news in terms of commits or signees that we've talked about before. And I'll go through this and get to the basketball because that's where we had a lot of new folks. Ms. Ramos just finished her season, and I've not updated this for the most recent playoffs. Ms. Polite, our most recent guest in front of the program. Nathalie Williams, Nairi James, and Sanaya Mariex. She just signed, I want to say a couple weeks ago, Columbia Lake City. And we've got a verbal commit from Michaela Fernandez out of Seminole State College. And played high school ball at Sanford, at Seminole High School.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan Douglas, and this is one of the
that's relatively new.
Mm-hmm, one of the breaking news commits and eventual signees that Coach Bill allowed us to have when she last appeared on the program. Going through, haven't dates on this as of yet. So the two more sisters, Victoria Santana, transferred in the spring. Brandy Boston, Alexandra Moore, both from Virginia, coming in. LaDonna Trantham, I think she's the latest signing. I think she was committed to a school on the West Coast, and Coach Gokhan was able to flip her commitment. So thank you, Coach. Baseball, Jamarcus Benton, he committed back in August. I know he's still committed. He's an outfielder. And actually, I saw where he pitched a few out of Jefferson High School in Tampa. And a recent commitment, Miles Potter. And he's 6'4", 240. Out of California.
Power hitter. Coming from California too. We don't get I don't know, we don't get too many California baseball prospects. So that's a huge get for Coach Shoup. I don't know. Are we allowed to when can Coach talk about the recruits, Marcus? They have to sign first?
Yes.
Okay, so it made no sense in asking him about Potter, but I'm interested.
You can ask generalities. You can say, I think there's a big guy coming from California.
Or how do we recruit somebody from California? Is that the roundabout way of asking that question?
Yes, who happens to be 6'4" and 240.
I mean that picture right there. I mean that's a big dude, man. He looks like
he might be playing linebacker.
Frank Thomas, man. He looked built like Frank Thomas in that pose.
Yeah, I know.
Good Lord.
On track,
keep him away from Coach Cozy because they, damn.
On track and field, some of the Olympic sports is really a challenge for me to track because I'm not good at Instagram, and number two, I don't know to what degree, I don't know in terms of posting things of that nature, but Lauren Thomas, she committed back in November. She's a hurdler from Archbishop Carroll in DC. Mm-hmm. And we got a commitment from Franklin Nui Jarofi in December. He's a sprinter from Melbourne.
Okay.
Basketball. Okay, now I was looking at this by count. I think we have like upwards of 8 players.
We got more.
So we'll go through this list, but I have not updated these images.
Last count, I counted about 10. The last time we did this and went through women's basketball, we were at like 10. Hold on. As you go through this, I'm going to write names down. Go ahead.
And I have not updated the pictures. I know yesterday that the women's basketball account put out some tweets with the actual, signed graphic. But I have here, for the most part, either the commitment graphics or their signing day images. So Zana Justice out of Milton High School in Georgia. And she played she got up to the semifinal. Her team made it to the semifinals in Class 5A this past year.
That's good.
And
she got the size in there, 6'3". Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nia Rhodes, and these first two were young ladies whose announcements were made yesterday via the official account. Nia Rhodes, a guard out of Clarksville, Tennessee, and her team made it to she won the state championship, TSIAA Division II state champs this year. And if I remember correctly, I think her team, I think they repeated. So she's not a stranger to championships.
Yeah, exactly. We got a winner. Coming. Championships.
Brooklyn Swan. Now this is one offer accepted graphic, but since they have an official graphic from taking picture in the locker room. So she committed back in February. She's a 5'10" small forward out of Gastonia, North Carolina. And her team made the Class 3A regional finals this year. Mm-hmm. Now, Cornelia Ellington, a guard out of Langston Hughes. And as you can see, she's also played in Class 5A in Georgia. And she was her regional all-region team player of the year. And they lost in the finals this year to River Ridge High School in the state title game.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, the first 4 or 5 are high school.
And high schoolers who have played deep into the playoffs with their high school teams, probably key contributors too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, love it.
Transfer Maya, I hope I'm pronouncing it, Maya Giles Jones. She committed in late April, and she's coming from Fordham University in New York City. And she made the all-district team as a senior, and also I believe she was a regional player of the year. And her team made it to the regional finals in Class 3A in North Carolina as senior in high school. And she was class of 2023, so she should have plenty of eligibility left.
Mm-hmm.
And so we pretty much had 3 commitments on the same day on April 28th. And Shania McCarthy played her high school ball at Kiva, but then ventured all the way out to California for junior college ball. And she was her conference's player of the year. And in high school and Class 6A, they were state finals runner-up, so they lost to St. Thomas Aquinas in the championship game. And in her latest year of junior college ball, they made it to the Southern California Regional Playoffs. Zenaria Robinson, once again, 6'3". She played high school ball at Fayetteville High School in Fayetteville, Tennessee. Class of 2021. She started out Arkansas Little Rock, made her way to Tallahassee Community College. I guess it's now Tallahassee State College. And now she made it over to us. So we're getting some size in the middle. Jordan Body committed in April, early May. She's also from Florida, Daytona Beach mainland, at Indian River Community College and Austin Key before she came to us. And this in 23-24, she made all-region team and all-conference team. And her team won her senior year in high school as a Class 5A state champion. Camille Jackson, she committed in mid-May. She played at Butler College Prep in Illinois, and she was rated the number 65 women's basketball prospect for the class of 2022 by ESPN. University of Illinois, then she went to Miami University, and now she's come to the highest of Seven Hills. And I don't have her height. I need to put that in there and get that updated. And that's all I have so far. I haven't seen any new ones. There may be some other ones.
Hold on a second, because I want to make mention of something, okay? So nobody, Hollow, what are you paying attention to? Hollow, there were two girls over 6'2", Hollow. There were three girls that were over 6'2". They were both 6'3". So we do have some height coming in. But from out of the, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, you had 9 young ladies, right? 4 high schoolers, 4 high school, 2 Division I transfers, 3 JUCOs. So that's the breakdown of what we got. So I think that's a nice mix there. Again, having to sort of rebuild really the roster. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
All right. For men's basketball, Devere Palmer. Once again, there are some that have some official graphics, but I just retained this. Devere Palmer, and we talked about him a little bit. He's a 6'7" forward.
First recruit for Coach Ward.
First signee.
Yeah.
Anthony Knowles, and I think you mentioned you knew about him, his playing days in high school. And I think he may be the only high school signee thus far. I've seen a few offers, but I think he's the only high school commitment so far under Coach Ward. Anquan Bolden, he committed on May 9th. And his team, although they weren't in the playoffs, but they achieved a number 4 final ranking.
Where was he coming from?
University of Buffalo.
Okay, that's what D1. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Antonio Baker, and this is a young man that I remember Gerald said last week when we talked about it that he's a bucket. So he's coming out straight out of Savannah. Well,
JUCO, right?
Savannah and Chipola Junior College out of Indiana. Right. And as you can see some of the accolades, he made first team All Panhandle Conference this past year. He was a Hoop Scene Georgia Class AAA All-State Boys Basketball Team and the Savannah Morning News first team.
All right.
Micah Octave, and this is one of the recent commits as of last week. He's a transfer from Alabama State.
Okay.
And, looking up his background, he was a bucket too. He was a baller at Olympic Heights in Boca Raton. So they made the Class 6A regional quarterfinals their first year. But you can see he has some other playoff experience from Indian River and also at Alabama State. having made the tournament this past year. And Miles.
Go ahead and say it. Come on, give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Miles and Delama.
The N is probably silent. The N is probably silent.
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. Delama. So he's coming out of Kanini Secondary School in Zambia and New Rock Prep in Covington, Georgia.
Chipola most recently.
Chipola most recently. And they made the first round this year, and they typically have good players. And that's all I have for men's basketball in terms of the commits. But I've seen quite a few offers, and actually offered a young man who's in Georgia.
Let me go back to EA's question. The young man, go back one graphic. Micah was the young man who played. Yeah, Micah Octave, EA. That's the young man who played at Alabama State this past season. So by my count, 6 players. 1 high school recruit, 3 JUCO transfers or signees, and 2 Division I transfers. That's the count on the 6 so far. And if I'm not mistaken, there were 5 returners.
Yes,
there was internal returning from last season. 5 that were returning from last season.
Yeah, Jordan Chapman made his announcement, and yesterday I saw Tyler Shirley. I think that's who it was. I saw his graphic yesterday. So those are the 2 who officially have declared that they're coming back. But I know Coach Ward did say that he would have 5. And I think he mentioned Caleb Washington, and I've forgotten the other 2 gentlemen.
You're gonna make me pull out my notes from last week, which I don't have near me. But okay, yes.
And we see tennis. We have 1 commit so far that I can find. I could not find a good picture of her, but Gabrielle Pierce out of St. John's Collegiate High School in Washington, D.C. And that's 1 recruit. And I know Coach Nikki did mention there's another young lady from Augusta, Georgia, when we interviewed Coach Nikki after the SWAC Championships, but I have not been able to track who that is. So still looking.
And if I recall, Coach Nikki was saying that she wanted to get the roster up to 8 again, because this past season we were 6, which is the minimum. If somebody would have got hurt, we would have been in trouble. So I know she said she wanted to get back up to 8. And how many? Don't we lose at least 2 or 3 off this team?
I have to look. I know Sarah Rakim,
Dominguez. Veronica, and I think her last name is Dominguez. Hold on, I can pull it up right here. I got the roster.
I think that's it for the Olympic sports. No, I haven't seen any golfs, and we've got a couple decommits.
Susan Salinas. So we lose 3. Susan Salinas is a grad. Veronica Rodriguez is a grad student, and Sarah Rakim. So I think we lose 3.
So we need to sign 5 if she wants to get back to 8.
Right.
And so far, I guess based on her commentary, I've only seen. I was able to find Gabrielle Pierce, but did not find the other young lady she mentioned from Augusta.
Right. A couple of quick questions here, Marcus. How many returners? Again, 5 returners from men's basketball. 5 returners from men's basketball. Yes, for men's basketball. And Coffee committed to Grambling. Coffee, he went with Coach Crary, which I kind of expected that. I kind of expected he would do that. I know he had developed a pretty good relationship with Coach, and, he was one of the ones. We still have not seen any news on Sterling Young. I know Sterling graduated from FAM, but he still has eligibility. I don't think Sterling has been picked up anywhere, and I don't think Milton Matthews
committed somewhere.
I'm sorry?
Or he committed somewhere. I don't remember the name of the school. I want to say
Sterling did commit somewhere?
I want to say Indiana State or something like that. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
I'm checking to see if there's any new commits in the football. I don't know if my screen's showing, but I'm kind of scrolling through.
Yeah. Let's unless you come up with somebody, let's catch up on the baseball, because I know
The one, I guess the two.
Let me know when you get. Let me know when you get there, and I'll pull up the screen.
Yeah, the two, Solomon Lowry is a wide receiver and maybe formerly DB athlete, transferring from FSU from Florida State over to FAMU.
Hit the slideshow button. Hit the slideshow button.
Let me see. There we go.
I agree, Edwin. Culture shock. Yeah. I mean, Indiana State is barren and cold. That's going to be it.
I think so. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's. I'll look that up during the break. So Solomon Lowry, 6'3", 192 wide receiver out of Lakewood High School, and his team.
Former Florida State player, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Class 2A Metro semifinals, lost to eventual champion, like everybody, Miami Central High School. So this is back in 2022. And he committed on the 15th. And yet another kicker. We may have even talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Daniel Porto out of Horizon High School, transferring from Holy Cross, coming down to us. So I think we had, by my count, when I looked at my spreadsheet, like 4 or 5 kickers committed or signed. So it should be interesting. I'm not sure how this plays out, but I think those are the most recent signees that I recall. But
can't wait to see what we do with all these kickers.
I do think we've had some official visits. I did see a graphic this past weekend of one of our offensive linemen from Georgia Military College had a visit this past week, and also another JUCO quarterback. Jet Petty, who plays out in California, actually from California, and he had a visit this weekend.
Yeah, haven't heard any word about Petty. I think there was a lot of, I've seen the graphics, and there was a lot of speculation in some of the back rooms about whether Petty was going to actually sign and whether he was going to be that additional quarterback to come into the room, but I haven't heard anything just yet. Yeah, a couple guys good. So Sam said Sterling did sign with Indiana State. Woo. I agree, 100%. Sunny Florida to freezing Indiana. That's why I'm down here, Edwin. That's why I'm down here. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if my screen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Milton committed as well.
Yes.
What do you have on your screen?
This is just a quick run list of the folks this year that transfer jumped in the portal and where they ended up. Exhaustive, because I don't know where everyone who jumped in the portal, just who may have announced and where they ended up. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if my screen sharing, but just looking at the different names of folks, so where they ended up. We did see Michael Smith, our kicker and punter, ended up at Tulsa. Trey Wilhoit, our other kicker punter, transferred to FIU. At least one junior college transfer. We talked about David Oliveros Jordan transferring to the University of Calgary. Braylon Oliver, actually saw he recently got offered by South Carolina State.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, next page. We did see Austin Hooker went back to North Carolina A&T. Don't know about Khalil Hunter or Cesar Reyes. Cesar Reyes was one of the transfers that came to us. I want to say either the same year or the year before. I want to say 21 or 22. No, 22, because he got injured in the University of North Carolina game. Quan Lee, we saw recently committed to Arkansas State. Nathaniel Gates, haven't seen anything on his information. Of course, James Ash going to Auburn. Kobe Gross going to Ball State. And saw Elijah Alexander, one of our signees from the fall, ended up going to Eastern Michigan. And that was recently announced as well within the last week. And I think that's all I have so far.
All right. Good stuff. Appreciate that, Marcus. All right. Let's get into a little bit of this SWAC baseball tournament. Of course, AD Drew was there covering it all for Black College Nines. A couple of different interesting topics or conversation pieces, Drew. When you and I first saw the bracketing format, we pontificated about the starting times advantage, disadvantage. We thought it'd be a disadvantage for Bethune, advantage for us. But given the way some of the games went, I don't know if it was an advantage for us, given the late start time of some of those games, Drew. You're on mute. You're on mute, Drew. I can't unmute you. You got to take yourself off.
When you get into game number 4, Bryan and Marcus, it is tough to get into a routine because you don't know when to get up, when to get into the hotel, when to eat, when not to eat. You're anticipating a 6 o'clock game. Now, you're not going to play at 6 o'clock. But even still, you're anticipating a 7 o'clock game. You probably set your pregame meal for about 3:30-ish. And on that Thursday night, for you not to start that game till after 10 o'clock local time, I mean, it's tough. Obviously that 3 o'clock meal then wore off by the time you start that game, but you're almost afraid to eat because if you eat, then you're not going to be ready to perform.
Mm-hmm.
And you do the same thing with your rest and recovery and everything else that's involved with that.
That we were talking about that night, that Thursday night, which was the longest, almost 13 hours of baseball on the field, in which FAMU's start time for their game against Grambling didn't go off until 10 o'clock Eastern time. Did you ever in any of your conversations with Coach Shoup or anybody else, what was the thoughts from some people there, especially the FAMU contingent, with the late starts? Was it just kind of, it is what it is, or was there some unhappiness with how that all went down?
Mind you, Bryan, the only game that went under 3 hours that day was the FAMU Grambling game. Unfortunately, it was the last game of the day. And the first game went almost 4 hours, if I could remember right, like 3:47, 3:48. The next two games went 3 hours and 30 plus minutes. And what you don't realize is there's a minimum of 30 minutes between games to get that field ready.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was crickets there, Bryan.
Well,
I was on the road that day, and Bryan, I actually fell asleep, woke up, and was like, wow, the game is still on.
and look, Drew,
because normally when that happens, you like, okay, I missed it. Let me go to my phone or let me go to my iPad and see what the final score was. Like, it's still on. It's only in the 7th inning.
And I will say this: the players may have been okay with the times, but when we look at the low attendance numbers, they are not fan friendly times.
Right.
They are not fan friendly.
Them game times.
That should be a concern. That should be a thought, in my opinion. Do you agree? You guys agree or disagree with that?
Oh, I totally agree with you. But what are you to do, Bryan? You've got a single venue for baseball. So do you start the games at 8 o'clock in the morning?
I mean, they started at what time? 10?
9 o'clock local.
Was it 9 o'clock local?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was 9 o'clock local time.
Well, Bryan, is your question more along the lines and for start times as it relates to impact on the players or impact on attendance?
It's kind of a twofold question because I had first talked about the players, but if Edwin, if you're going to tell me that the players are used to it, okay, but the fans aren't used to it. I know if I showed up to see FAMU play at 6 o'clock Central Time, and I'm looking on the field and FAMU, the game before FAMU is just starting.
The game started after the FAMU game started after the previous game should have ended.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. That is not good.
Excuse me. After the FAMU game was scheduled to end.
That's not good for the fans. And if I'm looking at it from a fan perspective, and the numbers on attendance, they were not great. And I don't know, that's a whole nother conversation. Other shows have talked about the attendance, but I will just say, if you want better attendance, then somehow we have to find a better way to play these games. I don't know. I don't know, Marcus. I don't know what the answer is, to be honest. That's why I originally suggested the whole idea of playing 7 innings for elimination games.
But that's not fair to the student athletes, because you're playing that a 7-inning baseball game and a 9-inning baseball game are 2 different games.
I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm just putting stuff out there to kind of say what makes sense. And how do we resolve the issue of no fan wants to show up at 5:30 expecting to see a 6 o'clock game, and that game doesn't start until 9 o'clock.
First of all, you can't schedule these games at 3 hours to start every 3 hours, because of the simple fact that the average game takes 3 hours. So unless you're going right on the field after the other game, that's not going to happen. You got to get smart with your time and schedule everything at a 3:30 interval, 3 hours and 30-minute interval. That's much more realistic than a 3-hour interval.
And they have and the crazy part is, Drew, they have the 10-run rule in effect. The problem is nobody can really get
10 run. Sometimes a 10-run rule game takes longer than a regular 9-inning game.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, wasn't 2 of those games only one game that day was 10. 2 games that day was a 10-run rule. The FAMU game was a 10-run rule that got done in under 3 hours, and one of those other games was a 10-run rule that was 3 hours and 30 minutes. So the 10 runs don't really mean anything, Bryan. What it is the umpteen pitching changes that you have in between these games. Because unlike Major League Baseball, where you have to face 3 batters, heck, I forgot one of them games, there were 3 pitching changes by the same team in the same inning. And a couple of them were like one batter, like 2 batters. Okay, you can't throw a strike. Let me get somebody else in here. Oh, you can't throw. They just tattooing the ball on you. Let me find somebody else who can get us up out this inning.
So is anybody in college baseball using the 3-batter minimum?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
I think that's the MLB rule.
Again, if Major League Baseball can look at ways to speed up the game to prevent
we got a pitch clock, Bryan.
That doesn't seem to be helping.
Oh, really?
Pitch clock doesn't seem to be helping.
Bryan, you missed the whole point about Thursday.
Okay, what is the point then?
Bryan, the 4 games on Thursday average 20.5 runs per game. That's why the games were so long. The pitching was horrible.
Well, the pitch we know the pitching gets
20.5 runs per game, Bryan, but combined between the 2 teams. That's why you had 4-hour games.
All right. I mean, look, solution, speed up the game. Tim,
how do you speed up the game?
How do you speed up the game? That's what I'm saying.
If you can't get anybody out, let me break something down to you. As a former umpire, your job as an umpire is to get outs as fast as you can. I did high school ball. It was 42 as fast as I can, as fast as we could. That's what we said every time we went on the field. Let's get 42 as fast as we can, 39 if the right team is winning.
So you out there, at this point, you're going to look like, what is that, Frank Drebin in the Naked Gun? You calling strikes and the ball is high above the head? Strike!
They get paid. Bryan, why do you think all the bang bang plays, the players out? Umpires get paid.
But then you get challenges. Drew, how many did you see the number of, let me ask this. Did you see the number of challenges in baseball like we saw in softball tournament?
No, number one, I didn't. And number two, the few challenges that I did see the calls tended to be upheld.
Okay.
So, but once again, just like in the softball tournament, there was no communication. Now, the benefit of baseball, and you probably had this with the softball tournament. We just were watching the softball tournament, but being there, the umpire verbalized it. So if you were in the park, you could hear what he was saying, especially when it's not a whole lot of people there to absorb the sound. But you could hear what he's saying. But you know, if we're gonna do this replay thing, number one, we need to mic up somebody. And number two, we need to go with the same calls that you have with football. The call was confirmed. The call was upheld, meaning we don't have enough video evidence to overturn it. So we have to go with the call on the field, or the call is reversed. Those are only three. We need to know what's being challenged and the outcome. That's it.
All right. What do you make of JT's idea right here, Marcus, Drew? Is it time to
single
move to something like this?
Single elimination works for the SEC. Single elimination works for the ACC, the Big 12.
And why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work for the SWAC? Why wouldn't it work for the SWAC? Because
those leagues gonna get 7, 8, 9. How many teams did the SEC get in? 13. That's why single elimination works for them. They go to the tournament to play for seed, not for their season. No, double elimination. Now, one thing I have thrown out there is, and we talked about this, Bryan, I think the tournament needs to be extended today.
Start on Tuesday instead of Wednesday?
Start on Tuesday instead of Wednesday.
And then what? What happens if you started a day earlier?
Well, number one, you avoid the dreaded doubleheader on Friday. Because Friday you have to play your elimination bracket championship, followed by your bracket championship, and then you have to come back. And then Saturday is your if game. So you eliminate that doubleheader. Or if you still want to keep the doubleheader, you make the doubleheader on for the championship. So both teams have the same advantage/disadvantage. But the reason I say you do it, we already don't have any pitching, Bryan. So anything that's going to give us one additional day of rest or pitching, I am for it, Bryan.
All right. I have a controversial take regarding pitching, which I may save for Sunday. I had a good conversation with Charles Edmonds about this, and I'll tell you, you recruit all of these players. Half your roster is made up of pitchers. If you don't feel comfortable using all these pitchers, then you got to do something different, either with your pitching, your training, your coaching, or you got to send these guys out there. I don't know. That's just me. Let's get into the championship game because time is tight. Marcus, let's go big questions that you have for Drew regarding the championship game, and then we'll wrap it up on this episode tonight.
Yes. I did not get a chance to catch your wrap up. I did get the link, but I haven't had a chance to watch it. But I know the biggest controversy, at least among the FAMU faithful, is the rationale for keeping in Carson Kelly.
Do you have the clip available, Bryan? Because you put it up on social.
I got it. Go ahead.
And I don't want to take it. I think you need to hear this one straight from the horse's mouth, Marcus. But
all right, here you go. I think I got it. I got it queued up.
You got it. You hitting it to me.
I got it.
All right, go ahead.
Drew here with Coach Jamie Shoup, O&G StrikeZone coach. Not the outcome that we wanted, but we gave the fans what we wanted today. So it was a great, thrilling game, Coach.
It was an unbelievable ball game. It was. It's been a pleasure to coach this team. We were basically one pitch away from being SWAC champions in a year that was considered a rebuilding year for us. We lost 6 of our top 7 hitters from last year's club. We lost the SWAC pitcher of the year the previous year to injury this season. 3 series into a 10 series conference season. Yeah. So for us to get to this game and play so well, and one ground ball away from it, one pitch away from a championship. But hats off to Bethune-Cookman. They won the regular season title, beat us by a half game, beat us at their place when we played. We had 4 games against them as the visiting team, which is tough, but they're going to represent the SWAC very well in postseason.
Talk about your decision to go with today's starter.
Well, I tried to get a little length out of him and Hanselman. I didn't know how many innings Kelly was out of gas. That's if we could have got a little more length, possibly it would have been beneficial. But that's baseball, So I wanted to go right-handed and see if they would make some moves, and then throw some left-handers in there, and then make them get rid of those left-handers and come back right-handed. It just didn't work out. I wasn't going to take Carson Kelly out once he got in the ball game. He had earned the right to try to pitch his way, into the championship and or into the regional tournament, and he was one pitch away from doing that. So very proud of him and how he threw the ball as well.
Last question before I let you get out of here. You talked about this rebuilding thing. You got a lot of young talent here on this team, a lot of homegrown talent. So talk about that. Talk about the future of the program.
I hope it's bright. I mean, every year we seem to get a little bit better and learn a little bit more. Every time we take ground balls next year, we'll stress that how important the ground balls are. I think we had 6 errors. You're not going to win a whole lot of ball games against a good team with 6 errors. So we were able to almost overcome them, but not quite. We'll go into the fall with every ground ball takes us back to or wins the SWAC championship for us. It's okay to lose, but you can't lose the lesson. And the lesson of this is we got to be better. Again, tip my hat to Bethune-Cookman. Great season for them, and we just wish them the best of luck in the postseason. Johnny's a good friend of mine. Hernandez is a great friend of mine, and I couldn't be more upset for my guys, but couldn't be happier for a friend.
All right. For the O&G StrikeZone, Coach Jamie Shoup, AD.
All right.
Yeah. I'm still. I don't know if that answered my question. I mean,
why did he keep him in? Was that the question?
He pitched 7 innings. Kelly pitched 7 innings.
Yeah.
7 innings. Maybe
basically
1 inning too long,
he said he deserved the right to win or lose that game. That is code for I had no other arms that I had confidence in going to at that point.
Okay, that was going to be my next question, because I don't know. I mean, I know in various chats and text messages, the question was, now, I don't know what was up with Workman. I don't know if he was fatigued or anything else, or if there are any other injuries.
He said, and I think this was an interview with Allison, maybe, or maybe was on, but he said he was not going to start a freshman in that situation.
I told you, I felt that was the move. I had a feeling that was it, and I'm glad that's
especially when you consider what you saw from another freshman on Friday night.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
sorry, Mark.
There we go.
Yeah, and so that was. I mean, I kind of had a feeling once I saw Hanselman, I believe I'm saying his name, getting started. I thought it was going to be like a bullpen game, but I didn't know it was going to. And I guess Kelly was considered long relief, but I thought they might have put someone, because there was somebody warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah, he had somebody up and down 7th inning. Well, let me take that back. I think it's 7th inning, but 8th and 9th inning, he never had anyone up. And Marcus, the questions that you are asking right now are the same questions that people in orange and green were asking in the ballpark, Bryan.
Oh, sure. I bet.
Why is he still in there? But, let's think about it, Marcus. He was 1 pitch away.
Oh, yeah.
If we don't have the error for the second out,
the pop up, the game's over. We never get to that last batter that hits the
fly ball
home.
to right field, and those pitches that I caught would have been of FAMU running onto the field instead of, unfortunately, Bethune-Cookman running on the field. And Marcus, I'll be honest with you. No one, when I say no one, when that ball hit that bat, thought that ball was going to carry 400 feet.
He did 400 feet. That's exactly dead center.
It was a good hit, but it looked like it looked like WTP. That's one of track power for everybody. And that ball just caught a gust of wind and just carried ever so slightly. If that fence is 402, that's an out.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little earlier, Bryan and I. And that pitch looked like it wasn't down and away; it was a little up, but looked like it was off the plate a little bit. And he just got to got to tip the cap, because it wasn't like it was down the middle, straight down the pipe, like the 2 home runs that FAMU hit for the home runs.
Drew,
it was off the plate a little bit.
Why are you putting that up, Drew? No one wants
to try to see if I had the pitch.
I know. The pitch. No, you got the hit. I don't want to see that thing. Jesus.
But it looked like it was. It wasn't like far off the plate. It wasn't like really off the plate, like a, ball getting him to chase. But it looked like it was at least like an inch or half inch off the plate. And he's got the barrel out there and just muscled it. And he was the co-hitter of the year, so it was down to that.
The one thing I will say.
And I'm going to say one other thing while you bring it up. A lot of people ask why he did not walk him, because the batter behind him had hit a home run his previous time at bat. So you can't put him on.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It was a tough spot to be in. I will say the one thing that I have learned, and we talked about why Coach Shute would leave Kelly in there. Coach's belief in his pitchers. Again, go back to what Coach Shute is and was prior to FAMU, and even now FAMU, pitching coach, right? Yeah. So his belief and loyalty and understanding his pitchers works for you, and unfortunately can sometimes bite you if things don't go the way you expect them to. That's coaching. We as coaches put our belief and trust in the young men or women, and because we know what they're capable of, you just gotta, didn't happen. Didn't happen. And I think that's the thing why players love him. That's why they play so hard for him, is because they know they're going to get it honest. They're going to get someone who's going to look out for their best interest. And that's why Workman didn't play. But like I said, remember, Hunter Veets was in a similar position 2 years ago, but Hunter Veets was a senior. And that's why I said what I said. That's why I said Workman didn't play that game, because if Workman were a junior, Workman would have pitched that game. But I think the fact that Coach was protecting a young freshman who had just thrown 100-something pitches, he wasn't going to send him out there.
Mm. So, and I think what this also speaks to, and I know it's true for all teams, but I guess it stings for us as FAMUans, that the margins are so slim in championship games. If you look at not only the baseball game, but in softball, hit here, missed base there, dropped ground ball, or sliding the bag or something like that can really be in a championship, be the difference between holding a trophy and watching someone hold a trophy.
Marcus, let's be real. You can't give a team 4 outs. I mean, 4 errors. You can't give them 4 outs per inning. You can't have runners in scoring position with nobody out and not score. That's some of the things that FAMU did. And that's not the coach's fault. You can't fail to put down a bunt when coaches calls for the sacrifice, which we did two separate innings. So we could question some of the thoughts of the coach, but he's still not the one who has to go out there and execute it. The only thing he can do is put those kids in the position to execute. And let's think about something. We ran ourselves out the first inning with the batter interference on the stolen base with nobody out. Another mistake. So FAMU had his opportunities, and even still came down to one pitch. I hate to say it, we lost the game, but that was the greatest game I have seen in HBCU baseball live in person. For all the ebbs and the flows and everything. And I gotta go back to this Jalen Niles, man. You know.
Oh yeah. We gotta mention that.
See if I got it right. Here we go. And the fact that he's getting love from, that's Bethune-Cookman coach. But the reason I captured that is because, of the rivalry, but the fact that everybody was pulling for the man and gave that man a standing ovation.
Right. And for those who may have missed that, in Saturday's, was it Saturday or Friday night's game? Friday night's game against Grambling. He suffered a lower leg injury, broken ankle, is it fibula or tibula?
He said it. I don't know.
I thought it was fibula. But anyway, lower leg injury, broken bones in his leg. Again, he was the starting shortstop, been starting since his freshman year at short. Tibia, little baby. Thank you, little baby. It was his tibia, ankle and the tibia. He did have a successful surgery on Saturday, and he was able to make it out to the ballpark on Sunday. So, and let's just say
touching moment.
It was a touching moment, and it should have been left at that instead of somebody
breaking the internet backwards.
Thank you. Yes, we're not going to mention it, and that's all we're going to say. It should have been left at a touching moment and never have been made into anything more, and that's all we'll say about that.
Can I just add 2 words to close that out, Bryan?
Quickly, yes. Yes.
HIPAA and FERPA.
If you don't know, look it up.
If you don't know, now you know.
Final FAMU report card, 2024, the athletic report card. This is followed. Bryan. This is courtesy of one of my guys at Truth. What?
Can we answer this question first?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, now that I live in Atlanta, I would definitely much rather drive across town versus driving 2 hours to Birmingham. I'm not going to say which one I prefer over the other one, but I am going to give you some of the differences. Number one, the Atlanta market, the tournament in Atlanta felt a lot more of a corporate vibe because you had the suites. You had the high-end stuff. You had the beer and the wine and everything, but didn't we have cheese in the in the suite, Bryan? Okay, so you had the beer, wine, and cheese people.
You did
in Atlanta. Now, great facility. Don't get me wrong. But because you could have different groups of people in there because of how the park is made, that was the atmosphere there. It was almost like a football game type atmosphere where you got people upstairs in the suites, and then you got the other people buying down there with the GA tickets. Then you have Birmingham, where there are no suites. You are in a old ballpark. It felt like an on-campus game as far as the atmosphere, the people, the vibe, because everybody's there. I can't really think of any of our home venues that actually have suites. We're lucky if some of our venues have press boxes. But anyway, so Atlanta, corporate. Birmingham, blue collar. Now, the one thing I did like about Birmingham, and I'll go ahead and say, well, two things I liked about Birmingham over Atlanta. I'm not giving a preference for either one, but A, I didn't have to pay the park. That's number one. And number two, because the stadium is 85% shaded, that also helped, because the one thing Atlanta won with was the doggone heat.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, and whether I like it, whether I did not like it, guess what? It's gonna be a Rickwood for the next 4 years. So y'all just need to come on.
So it's a 5-year contract?
Yes.
Ooh, I did not know that. So
and if you think about it, Bryan, the basketball and the baseball flip cities for the same amount of years.
All right. There you go. Well, we will be looking out for that article, that news from Gerald. So that'll be good to hear. Appreciate you dropping that. Track and field news: Leonard Mastari advanced in the 110-meter hurdles. Thank you, Ashley, for posting that. That's interesting take that the coaches hated playing in somebody else's stadium. Well, especially that team that kept wrecking the dugout, whatever team that is. Anyway, let me stop. 2 years in a row, ridiculous. All right, can I close the show with our 2024-25 athletic report card?
Sure.
Go for
it.
All
right. First place or championships go to SWAC in golf, SWAC titles in golf, tennis, women's tennis. Let me go back. Men's golf, women's tennis, volleyball, and women's outdoor track and field. And the HBCU Band of the Year for the Marching 100. Okay. We finished second in the SWAC women's cross country, finished second in softball, second in baseball. Conference championships, we won obviously volleyball championship, conference championship. And in softball, we finished first in the East Division, winning that. Again, men and women's basketball both made the SWAC tournament. Men won their first ever game in the SWAC tournament. Okay. Football finished 7-5. So, yeah. There you go. So even though we finished second to Alabama State in terms of conference championships, we did not come anywhere. I don't even think we finished top 3 in that Commissioner's Presidential's Cup thing. The final standings, we finished 4th overall. Actually, we finished tied for 4th overall. We finished tied for 3rd in the men's. No, hold on. I'm looking at this all different. Let's stick to total points, Commissioner's Cup, because I see what they did here. First place, of course, in the overall Commissioner's Cup goes to Alabama State. Jackson State finished 2nd. Southern finished 3rd. FAMU and Texas Southern finished tied for 4th. But again, I'm going to call Fugazi on that because, again, tournament championships, we finished 2nd to Alabama State. And I don't know.
Also, Bryan, we are a minimum of 2 sports short of everyone.
Of those 3, the 3 teams in front of the 3 programs in front of us, Alabama State, Jackson State, and Southern, we're 2 or 3 sports.
Southern has everything.
So does Alabama State.
You sure Alabama State does also? So how many of the sports the SWAC offers? Southern offers all.
18.
So we're four sports short.
Yeah, we're 4 sports short. Yeah. So that is what it is. All right. Well, yep. Appreciate all that you did, Drew, in getting that coverage. Again, you did some good writing there on blackcollegenines.com. Appreciate the interview with Coach Shoop. Next week, we will have Coach Shoop on the show. I'm told we will have Coach Shoop on the show next week. So we'll get it here right from Coach next week. So hopefully Rattlers will make it a point to try to attend in Rickwood next year. These are some of the images from Rickwood. I think it's worth the trip. It's worth the drive. We can pontificate about why Rattler or why just SWAC Nation didn't show up. I think that should be an interesting debate and topic for maybe the summer or the next couple of weeks. But somehow we got to find a way to improve the attendance for this tournament.
I'll say one thing, Bryan.
Yeah.
This was the comments that I heard here in Atlanta. And I heard the same comments from some of the locals in Birmingham.
How far away is it from Atlanta to Birmingham?
2 hours. It was actually faster for me to get from my house to Rickwood than it is for me to get to certain parts of the metro.
That's okay. So what were those? That's crazy.
Marcus knows exactly what I'm talking about.
That's why he shook his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are those comments? What are those comments quickly?
There was no local advertising, or the local advertisement was minimal.
Ooh.
I heard it during the basketball tournament here in Atlanta, and from the people who I talked to, who I knew in Birmingham, who came out just because their alma mater was playing or something along those lines. Same thing. It's kind of hard to get the casual fan, and let's be real. You got to involve these school systems. You got to get these schools out.
Yeah.
Especially that 9 o'clock in the morning game. How hard is it? Nobody's going to be there anyway. Go ahead and get 5,000 kids there from the school system.
All right. And then maybe on Sunday we'll address the other elephant in the room. Your major network deciding to pick up the streaming feed and airing it on their TV network and asking the big question, how come y'all ain't doing that during the rest of the season? But I'm not going to do that on this show. I'm not going to do that because we got to get out of here. That's a Sunday. That's a Sunday. That's a Sunday question that we will answer Sunday night on the BCSN Sports Wrap with AD Drew and myself. So tune in 6 o'clock Eastern to find out and debate that question with us Sunday. Marcus, final thoughts for the night.
Good show. Glad we have pending champion Eryn Polite on. So I'm going to be cheering on her team to bring that championship swagger to Tallahassee next year. And, just looking forward to a good summer. All the coaches getting rested, relaxed, and planning for their teams. Us circling the wagons and taking care of the administrative things and getting things handled and taken care of.
There you go. Drew, final thoughts.
I don't care what your affiliation is. When your team loses, root for the conference. You should still come and try to cheer on for those championship games. Baseball, football, basketball, softball, whatever it is. Support the student athletes after you support the rags that we wear. That's number one. Number two, Make sure you join us. I believe it's going to be right here on the Black College Sports Network. But if not, it would definitely be on MPTV, the HBCU All-Star Games. If you're in North Carolina, come out to the games. If you're not in North Carolina, we need the eyeballs on your device so that we can get these numbers and continue to provide this championship experience, or in this case, this all-star experience to our great student athletes in our respective sports, softball and baseball. Softball Friday, 7:00 Eastern. Baseball Saturday, 7:00 Eastern. Both events will start off an hour prior with a home run derby. So that'll do.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All I'm going to ask you to do is to hit the thumbs up and the like button, and make sure to check out the BCSN Pod Zone. Everywhere that you listen to podcast, our show, any of the shows that are on the Black College Sports Network, you can get on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple and Google Podcasts, and more. Just search BCSN Pod Zone. Appreciate all you guys for watching tonight. Appreciate Eryn Polite. Good luck to Eryn and her high school on Saturday. And that's going to do it for tonight's show, guys. Appreciate everybody in the comments. Go back and check out the YouTube feed or the Facebook feed. Leave some comments in there if you can. Hopefully we'll have Kelvin back next week after he's walked 10 miles around Disney. And Marcus will be back as well. And Drew, you can catch Drew on Sunday with me, 6:00 Eastern, BCSN Sports Wrap, right here on the Black College Sports Network. All right, guys, be well. Have a great rest of your week. And fangs up. And make sure to strike, and strike again. Peace out, everybody.